Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today on this extra special day because we are celebrating the 100th episode of Simply Saturday. So I can just hardly even believe it, but today is episode 100. So in honor of this special milestone and celebration, I am going to do a little bit longer of a video. And I'm going to actually show you 3 cards. They all fit in the fast and easy category, although they are definitely easy, maybe not quite as fast as some of the ones that I typically share with you here on Simply Saturday. But I know that you're going to love these cards. We are staying within one group of products. So we are going to be using the Beautiful Balloons bundle, so the stamp set and the coordinating dies, because after all, we are celebrating. And we're going to be using ink pads in these color combinations on the different cards, and we'll talk about that. And as I mentioned, we're doing 3 cards and we're using some coordinating DSP. So at the end of this video, be sure and open that description box that is below the video. And down there you will find the instructions and the dimensions regarding all 3 cards. So I'm going to move along a little bit quickly in putting the cards together and not spend as much time talking about dimensions and so forth, but you can definitely find all that information in the description box below here, and I'll have some helpful links as well. So let's get started on card number 1. All right, so for this card, let's get all of our parts and pieces out of here. All right, so on this one, I'm starting with a blueberry bushel card base. And we're going to attach a piece of bubble bath cardstock to the front, like so, leaving a blue border all the way around. So that is step 1. All right. Then we're going to need some designer series paper. And so all of the paper is from the same packet of papers, and I believe it's called, I want to say Merry and Bright, but let me double check. Okay, I'm glad I checked. The paper is called Bright and Beautiful, and it is a 6x6 pack of paper. So we're going to use this print, the stars. We're going to attach it to the front of the card. And I'm going to leave a little space at the top and the bottom and the left side. About an equal distance-ish. Okay, here, like so. All right, then I have a piece of cardstock. This is Berry Burst. I'm using all colors that coordinate with our designer series paper. One of the very, very, very best things about Stampin' Up! Products is the way that they easily coordinate. All right, this is going to go here, but let's put a little banner end in the end of this. So I'm just going to do that with some scissors. And I'm going to make a snip in the center. If you've been with me for any time at all, you've seen me make banners, banner ends. Now I'm going to go from the corner up to that little spot that I just snipped with the scissors. All right, and then let's clean that up a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to flip it. You could decide what's easier for you. You can either come in from this corner like that, or I always think it's easier cutting up this way, so I just flip this, and then I'm still going from the same bottom corner up to that point. All right, there we go. Now we have our banner end. And let's attach that to the card. 100 episodes. It just is blowing me away. When I first started this Saturday series, of course, I thought, well, I'll give it a try, see what happens. Of course, it's been so much fun. I enjoy sharing the card ideas with you so very much. And I love getting the feedback and hearing about your projects that you're making, especially based on the inspiration that you're receiving. But it's hard. If you had told me when I began that before long I'd be reaching the 100th episode, I just don't think I could have believed it. Okay, now I need a piece of white scrap to do the words, and I see that I don't have that here. So let me grab a piece of white. This will work. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to trim this down a little bit. It's a little large for what I want it for. So let's trim this little piece down. All right, so I've got my Stampin' trimmer here. I think I just want it like 1 inch, maybe 1 inch by 1.5 inches. We're stamping a very small saying on here. So let's go with that one. Okay, so we're gonna stamp Yay You on this. Even though we are doing all of these celebratory themed cards, I chose to not actually do birthday because this is like you can totally tell that you're going to use this for birthday cards. So I'm just doing it for other kinds of celebrations like in 100th episode. All right, so here's Yay You and Berry Burst ink. Now what I've done for my balloons is I went ahead and pre-cut with the dies some balloons. Let me see if I have a large balloon. I need one large one. Here we go. That'll work. So I went ahead and did the die cutting first, which I would not normally do. Usually I stamp and then punch or stamp and then die cut. But so that I don't have to get up and down and move that way over to where my Stampin' Cut and Emboss is, I went ahead and pre-die cut these balloons, and they're very easy to stamp on once they're cut out. So actually now that I've done this, I would say that it's just an easy way to do it. So whichever method that feels like you want to do, feels easiest to you, then follow that. All right, so we're going to do a large balloon and a small balloon. I'm going to do the large one in Bubble Bath. And so you can see after I ink up my stamp, I'm able to look down through the stamp right onto the balloon and stamp it. Super easy, okay? Then with the small balloon, I'll use Misty Moonlight ink. Ooh. My stamp was not stuck well to my block. So here, I'm gonna do a quick fix. First of all, I'm gonna clean my stamp. Then I think I know what's happened is this side is a little gritty. So off camera and a little bit later, I'm going to use these little alcohol prep pads and clean this because then it will stick a little bit better. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to press and hope it'll stick on there for us for today. Okay. And now with that Misty Moonlight and the small balloon shape, stamp it right on there. Ta-da! All right, let's put these pieces together. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals. And first put the Yay You on here. And then we're going to pop up our balloons also. So let's just get those prepped. This guy is an extra. Okay, so yay you is just gonna go right about here. And then our large balloon kind of peeking onto this white piece a little bit. And the blue one. So easy, super cute, very, very festive. Okay, now I do have a piece of lemon lime twist ribbon. And so I'm going to tie that into a bow. Just wanted to pull in some green from our color scheme. All right, so here's my bow. There's like a funky little twist in that loop, so I am going to redo it. It probably would have been fine, but oh, that one's much better. Okay, so I'm just adjusting the little loops, pulling the knot tight. I'll be able to trim the tails once I get it just how I want it. Okay, now I need a glue dot. We'll attach this, stick it right on the glue dot. A lot of times a ribbon knot or bow, this is an easy way to do it. Okay, and then I'm going to put this, let's see where it looks good. I think it's just going to go kind of centered right there. Maybe down a smidge. All right, there we go. There's our bow, and then I'm gonna trim up those ends. I have a really sharp pair of scissors that's good for this. That one still's a teeny bit long. There we go. And then let's dress it up with some embellishments. So I think for this card I chose these little iridescent rhinestone jewels. All right, let's use 3 of these. I will start with kind of a medium size one over here. And another medium size one. There's 3 sizes to these. These large ones, you'd really have to, I would have to think hard about how to use those. You can see I have a bunch of them left because the medium and the small ones work for so many things. I think the large ones would be very pretty on the right project. You might have to think about if it's going to go through the mail or not, because that's a pretty big gem. All right, and then I'm going to go to the smaller size and add my 3rd one up here. There we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's stamp on a piece of white cardstock so that we can have a decorated inside panel. And so let's just stick with something pretty straightforward. How about another balloon? And I want to do a small balloon here as well, but I'm going to change colors. So instead of Misty Moonlight, I'm going to switch to Berry Burst. Because it's going to kind of overlap and I want it to be pink and pink. There we go. And then let's put some words on here. Let's use the I think it's time for a celebration. Now, this will not be the last time that we use these words today. Again, we are in celebration mode because of this being the 100th episode. And as it turns out, we are also in celebration with Stampin' Up, the celebration promotion. During the month of January and February, as you might already know, you can earn free products with $50 and with $100 purchases. So we're not only celebrating, but we're also celebrating. All right, there is a cute but fast inside for our card, and let's attach it. And then while we're at it, I'm going to grab a white envelope. See, at this stage, you already have your ink out, you already have your stamps out. I highly recommend that you go ahead and stamp a coordinating envelope at this point. Sometimes I don't do that. I just get in a hurry and I move on. But then when you go to mail this card, you're like, oh, it would be really cute if it had a matching envelope, and then you have to get everything out again. So it really is the best idea to just do it while you're making the card. So we're going to do something really fast. I'm going to put 2 balloons on the back flap. So we've got our bubble bath and our berry burst, just like we did on the inside of the card. Okay, that ties that together. And then let's put 1 balloon on the front. Let's just stay with our, let's stay with our berry burst. And let's go ahead and add a misty moonlight. All right, so there's our cute envelope, goes with our card, and that is project number 1. All right, so again, in the description box, when I'm talking about all of the dimensions and the directions for this card, that will be card number 1. All right, let's go on to the second one. This time I am beginning with a lemon lime twist card base. And we're going to do more of a landscape style card. So this one's going to open this way instead of this way like a book. All right, here's our white piece for the inside. We'll come back to that. Okay, now what I've done on this one is also very easy. This is the one that might not be quite as fast as a typical Simply Saturday, only because you got to do some paper cutting and have your pieces ready. So I have done that with selections from that same packet of paper. And you want to choose 4 coordinating papers, all right? So I am using this little colorful dash, the stripes, the little green circles, and then this is what's on that side, but I'm going to use this side because I'm going to actually stamp my words on here. So we're going to take those 4 pieces and we're going to attach them to this lemon lolly piece of cardstock. So to get started on that, I'm going to put the first strip at the bottom of my piece of cardstock. And I'm kind of watching my margins, the sides and the bottom. It would also be safe to kind of do a dry fit if this is the first time that you're going to make this card, just to get an idea of your spacing. Because you want to make sure that all of them are going to fit and that they have somewhat of equal spacing. So even as I say that, if this isn't dry, I'm going to move this down a teeny bit. Actually, I'm not going to bother, but I would have this be a teeny bit narrower, okay? So we'll just be careful as we go. All right, now I'm going to do the top one. And the papers are busy enough that it's not going to matter too terribly much if you don't get the spacing perfect, because your eye is going to be busy looking at all of the patterns anyway. All right, this is strip number 3. And before I stick that down hard and fast, I'm just gonna check one more time, make sure that this one's gonna fit. Okay, I'm gonna move that one a little bit closer to the top. We'll scrunch it a little more than we should have if this had been a teeny bit lower, but that's fine. All right, this is the last one, and as I said, it's gonna go this way, but I'm gonna do my stamping on here, and I wanna do that first, just in case I was to mess this up. If it was already glued down and then I mess it up, then we've kind of messed up the whole front panel. So let's do that here. I'm going to use those same words. We're gonna use a lot of the same stamps. I think it's time for a celebration, and let's use Berry Burst. I think that'll look really nice on kind of this pinkish background paper. It's kind of a fun idea to stamp right onto your DSP. Here we go. And now we'll add this to the card front. All right, once that's in place, we can go ahead and attach it to the front of the card. And then we can do our decorating. Okay, like so. It's really even cute just like that. You could stop right there and just be done. But let's put some balloons and some gems on this one as well. So let's see here. I need some more balloon cutouts. I thought I had a whole bunch of these, and I seem to be missing a few. Oh, I do have a little stack here. Let's start with these. Okay, so let's see. I've got a large. I actually want 2 large and 1 small. So let's see if I can pull from this last one. Do I have extra large ones here? I might. Okay, now we're all set. All right, so on this first one, I'm going to use a lemon lolly. So a large balloon in lemon lolly. You saw me clean that, but it still seemed to have traces of ink on it, so I wanted to clean it again. And you know what? Only because I went from a really darker color, a darker color to a lighter, I'm going to stamp it on scratch paper just to make sure, because this lemon lolly is very light. I want to make sure I'm not getting any residual ink. There we go, from anything else. Okay, there's our lolly. And again, stamping right onto the balloon that's already been cut. Great. Okay, now let's do a blue. So this is Misty Moonlight. And we'll do another small one in Berry Burst, which is what I think we did with this last, but I cleaned it anyway, just in case. Okay, so we've got 3 balloons this time. There are also some really, really nice star dies in this bundle. Today I'm sticking to the balloons. All right, let's attach those. We're going to put the yellow one on flat. So I'll just use my liquid glue for it and put it up here, hanging off the top of the designer series paper. And then let's pop these 2 up with some dimensionals. All right, this blue one, I want it to go over the yellow one a little bit. like so. And then let's position this one like that. All right, for this card, I chose some Tinsel Gems 4-pack. I really like the colors. We're going to use a yellow, a pink, and a blue. So I've got a large yellow, and a large pink, and I'll choose a small blue. These are super cute. I really like the little bit of tinsel or silver sparkle that is inside them. It's probably really hard to see, but they're very nice. All right, let's put our white piece on the inside and do some decorating. All right, on the front we've got, I think it's time for a celebration. So let's do So Thrilled for You. And I'll put that down in Berry Burst. And then let's choose another fun stamp from this set of stamps. There is a banner. What are these called? It's escaping me. You know, you buy it, it comes on a roll, and you twist and put these up. Oh, good heavens. Streamers. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It might even have a different name, but I'm going with streamers. All right, so I'm going to do some streamers in 2 colors. I'm going to do the Bubble Bath first. It's a very large stamp, so you can see I've got my eye block. I hardly ever have to use this eye block. And I have a piece of scratch paper because I am going to stamp off of the edge. I just want my little streamer to be swooping up the corner of the card like this. Okay, that's kind of fun and festive. It looks like there may have been a little residual blue ink on here. That's not good. That means I am not cleaning my stamps well. But we are going to press on, and I am moving to blue anyway. So now I've got Misty Moonlight, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Now, if you were really disappointed in your piece, of course, you could just flip this over and begin again. It's not a big deal. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to make this the part that crisscrosses with my streamers. So maybe it's supposed to kind of look bluish, because the 2 colors are crisscrossing. How about that? All right, there we have our streamers. Let me show you one that turned out a little bit better. All right, that might be what you're going for, but we're going to work with what I've got here because I want to finish putting the card together. You know, not every single time it's going to come out perfect. These are hand created. Okay, so let's attach that to our card. I'm going to press that down. And here is the finished one. Okay, another very easy card, maybe not quite as fast because you got your strips and your balloons and your embellishing, but this is part of our celebration of 100 episodes. All right, let me tidy up a little bit. The third card that I prepared for you to show you is a fun fold. It is not a very hard one, but there are some elements of having to get your pieces of paper cut in a certain way so that the card will go together really well. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is show you how to prepare your designer series paper for this fold. All right. This piece of paper, all right, is my bubble bath cardstock. Now I have gone ahead and pre-cut this, and I'm not going to take all of the time right this minute to talk about the measurements and all that. I'm going to do a separate video that shows you how to get this angle on your paper and to do your scoring and so forth, because I've done a bunch of different cards with this design. So for now, we're just going to say, take your prepared piece of cardstock and we're going to do our folds the way that they go. It's like back and forth like this. And we're going to attach our designer series paper. Again, all of those details I will put in a separate video that just teaches you how to make these cards with this angled fun fold. All right, in this case, we need 3 pieces of designer series paper. At least that's the way that I do it. I've seen it where this front one is just maybe a plain piece that is stamped, and that's super cute too. But I'm gonna do designer series paper here, here, and here. So here are my 3 pieces that I've chosen. Then you'll also need a white panel. All right, so to get these papers cut on the diagonal so that it matches your cardstock base, this is how we do it. I'm going to hold my paper. This is the piece that goes right here, and you do want to double check before you start cutting and gluing. I'm going to hold this paper and turn this, and I'm going to slide it. Now think, this is the top of the card, okay? But I'm holding this at this angle, so the top of the card is over here. I'm going to slide my designer series paper just far enough that this point of DSP is sticking up higher than my card base. So you can see that right here. Once that's in place, you also want to make sure that this is straight and this is straight. Then you're just going to hold it really tight. Now I'm right-handed, so I'm going to hold this really tight with my left hand and flip it over. And now I'm going to grab scissors. For this, I think it's easier to just use regular size, good sharp scissors. Your paper snips would work too, but I like that this is going to make the cut a lot faster. All right, that piece has been removed. And now watch what happens when we go to glue this into place. We're just going to bring it down so it's centered. Remember, we had pushed it up to do the trimming, and now we're centering it into that space on the cardstock. And there we have our first one in place. Not hard at all. All right, let's close the card, get our visual again. This is the second piece of designer series paper, and it's going to go right here on this panel. So I am going to turn this. I'm going to slide my designer series paper up towards the top of the card until the DSP clears the edge of the cardstock, so it's sticking up just a little bit further. I'm going to hold it in place, flip it over, and cut. Okay, that piece can now get attached. Look how pretty that ombre side is. That would be really pretty used on something. Okay, same thing. I'm just kind of centering it based on the space that I have around. There we have our second piece in place. Lastly, we're going to do this front one. It's the smallest piece. I'm going to hold it into, ooh, it does not look like it's cut right. I did pre-cut these to make it faster, but that is definitely not cut wide enough. Okay, hold please. Let me grab a different piece of this star paper. I need a piece that is wider. Okay, I am going to need to cut it. Okay, hold on. I'm going to put my microphone down. Hold on. Just when you think you've thought through everything, surprise, surprise. Okay, so in my Bright and Beautiful, I need to find some more of that star paper, which is not a problem. All right, here we go. This piece will get used on something else, but it is too small. Okay, I need to cut this one down. Two and 3/4 by 3.5 is what we need. And that other piece was definitely not that. All right, we continue. So this is going to be the piece that goes here. I'm holding it in place, sliding the top edge of the DSP just past my cardstock, making sure that my two sides here are equal. Hold it tight, flip it over, and trim. What I love about this is even though there's a little bit of figuring as you're getting these pieces ready to cut, there's really no measuring. You just kind of hold it in place, make your cut, and do your gluing. So you don't have to remember any measurements or anything like that when it comes to that special cut. I've got a little blob of glue here. Let me wipe that off. I don't know how that jumped on there. There is our third and final piece of designer series paper. Now the only other thing that this needs is a white panel, which is going to go here. And so we're going to follow the same process. My white cardstock gets laid into place, pulled up just past the pink cardstock, flip it. And I'll tell you, once you've made one or two of these, you can just whip these out. You don't even have to think about it. Okay, all of our pieces have now been cut. I'm going to go ahead and attach this. I know that's a little risky because if you were going to stamp on this, you would want to do your stamping first. But we're just going to take our chances at this point and press on. Okay, all of our papers are in place, and now it's time for a little bit of stamping and decorating. Okay, to speed things up a little bit, I have already die cut my circles using the Stylish Shapes dies. So I've got a Misty, what is it? Misty Moonlight circle and also a white circle. I'll stamp on the white one. Let's pick another stamp from this set. Let's see, where is it? Here it is, You Did It. Let's use You Did It. We are in celebration mode. All right, so I'm going to stamp You Did It. We've been doing great stamping our words in Berry Burst, so let's continue with that. This piece is going to get attached to my blue circle. And now we can finish putting this together. Now, I'm going to show you one thing on this that definitely doesn't fit into the fast and easy category, but it is a fun day to learn some extra things, and I told you I was going to take a little extra time with you today. So I am going to show you kind of a trick to do with some twine, and I'm going to grab that Parakeet Party twine. Which looks like this. Even though this is lemon lime twist, this pale but bright green can be used kind of interchangeably. So I'm going to take my twine, I'm going to wrap it around my 4 fingers 3 or 4 times. That's about the length that I'm going to want, and cut. All right, so it's just kind of how I measure how much to use. Then all I'm going to do is kind of arrange it. I want to make sure that I catch my 2 ends when I put it on the card. And I kind of want these little loops to be stretched out a little bit. It's kind of a messy twine. All right, now I'm going to get a piece of tearing tape is what I'm going to use. And I'm going to use the tearing tape just to attach it to the back of my circle, just to kind of keep it in place. So I'll show you this right here. I've got both ends of my twine and several of the extra little pieces, and I'm just sticking it into place to hold it. All right, now it's not going anywhere. Now we can kind of do our smushing or zhuzhing, okay? So I'm going to need a couple of dimensionals. So let me get those out so that they're ready to go. All right, from the front, I want my twine to be kind of peeking out up here a little bit and down at the bottom a little bit. So at this point, you're just kind of fiddling with it. Oh, that's a good loop. And I need a little bit more popping down here. Okay, once you have played with it and kind of got it in the position that you want it, you're going to use a couple of dimensionals to now secure that into place. So this is looking good, and I'm going to stick a dimensional right there. And this, oh, this could have a little bit more down there, but we're going to keep moving forward. A little bit down there, that'll be fine. And let's just stick a dimensional there. And then I'm going to use a third one on this side just to kind of even out where I've placed my dimensionals, and it won't hurt any holding down that twine a little extra as well. All right, so we've got our twine. Let's remove the backings of the dimensionals, and then we can just set this down on the card right here. And that little loop of twine sticking out just kind of gives it a little festive decoration. All right, a couple of balloons, of course, stick with our theme. I'm going to clean my small balloon off really, really well, because we're going to use 2 light colors. We haven't stamped in any of the lemon lime twist, so let's do a green balloon. And let's also do bubble bath. Moving to this light pink, even though I cleaned my stamp really well, I am going to stamp it on a scratch piece of paper just to make sure that I did get all that green ink off. Only because I'm moving so quickly as I'm recording. All right, I think we're in good shape. And there's our pink balloon. Oh, I love how that looks. All right, let's go ahead and attach those. I'm going to use dimensionals on both of those. And then I think we will stamp on that white panel on the inside. We've come this far, right? We've come this far. Don't stop yet. All right, here is our beautiful green balloon. I love that color. Here's our pink one. We haven't used just regular old rhinestones today, so let's use some rhinestones. And we're gonna stamp, oh, I'm gonna use this, I think. And we'll stamp our words. So back to that. I think it's time for a celebration. And we'll do that in our Misty Moonlight. Now remember, it's great to stamp on it before you glue it in, just in case you were to make any mistakes. But we're going to press on and hope there's no mistakes. Ah, we're in the clear. And the last thing I want to do on this one is this little tiny stamp. Excuse my tickle there. And bubble bath ink. And let's just put some confetti thrown around like so. Ah, I love it. Super cute. Now, we didn't do our rhinestones yet, so let's add our rhinestones. I'm going to do 3. And then as I mentioned on that first card, the best time to do your envelope is while you're stamping your card. So we have 2 envelopes that we ought to do to finish this off. All right, 1 rhinestone on each balloon. And you know what? I am going to throw in a couple of these. I should have done this before I attached it, but I'm going to do it. I'm being really careful so I don't stamp on the blue. Look at how that made that pop. Oh, I like that. Okay, there we go. And then let's add our final rhinestone. There we go. All right, our envelopes. This is going to go with this one. So let's do pink and green balloons. What was the last color that I used? I think it was pink, wasn't it? Okay. Couple of pink balloons. And then a green one. And then we did not do the envelope on card number 2. So let me do that, and then we'll review card 1, 2, and 3. All right, and then on this one, we had some large balloons. So let's do yellow and blue. I like to give like a little sneak peek at what's going to be on the inside of the card by coordinating the envelope. All right, so here's yellow. Oh, I hope it didn't have a little trace of blue on it. Well, we're gonna find out. Nope, we're okay. Let's do 2 yellow ones. And then bring in our blue. All right. Gosh, we could go a couple different directions on this. We'll just stick with kind of what we've been doing. Let's go here. Okay, there is our envelope for card number 2. So let's review. Let's go back to card 1 with its envelope. And 2 and 3, I am closing these and moving them out of the way because I have been stamping before and you go to move something and it ends up in the ink pad, and that is very frustrating. All right, here we go. This was card number 1. Very simple and fast. The inside and the matching envelope. Here is card number 2. Landscape design, our really cute designer series paper, our balloons and the inside. And here's the blue and yellow balloon envelope to go with that one. And our final card is this fun fold that just turned out so amazingly adorable. I love this fold, love the colors, and there you have that with its matching envelope. Thank you so much for all of your time and attention on this extended episode of Simply Saturday. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your support so very much, and be watching each Saturday as I continue to bring you these card tutorials that are cards that are fast and easy to make. My name is Julie. This is Stamp with Julie Baum, and until next time, happy stamping.